All right, let's implement a new feature in this app that I am building. This is a social manager. I call it social manager. It's a social media content manager. So far, I have it for TikTok and YouTube. It pretty much supports everything, right? I've documented my process so far, where the levels where this app went. So it makes it easier for me to keep track of my content. That's really the whole point. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to add more filtering here, because this is just from version 1. It only filters on the item level. This app has 2 levels, right? There is an item level, like some kind of a video, a carousel, or a text post, something like that. That is the item. Then there is deployments. Deployments are basically posts. When I post to YouTube, that's one deployment. So here we have one item. Let's see something that is already deployed. Let's look at this finalized one, right? This is an item. This is the video. It's a short video. Then under it, it is published to YouTube Shorts. Let's see this one here. This one is actually scheduled. This is like today. So I think I got to clean this up. This is probably already deployed. So look at this one. This is actually a good example. When you look at this is a long form video, and the long form video is not going to go to TikTok. So there's something wrong here. I probably need to delete this. I need to come back and check this out. But let's look at this guy here. So here, this is a short video. It is deployed to YouTube and it is deployed to TikTok, right? They both published. When we look at the one we looked at before, it says a draft for TikTok and it's a long form video. It doesn't make no sense, right? It's not going to go to TikTok. So I do need to figure out if this is really a long form, or did I have a mistake, or I probably just added a deployment by mistake. So I need to delete it. So when I click on delete, it actually will makes me confirm. I have to type delete. This is just a little feature. So now here, when I filter, now you understand there are 2 levels to this. There's an item and there's a deployment. Under each item, there might be multiple deployments. It's deployed to this, it's deployed to that. So this filter it would only filter by the item, right? It filters long or short, the status of the item, and the type, video, carousel, text. Right? And search. I actually never tested the search. What I want to do is I want to be able to filter both by the item and by the deployment. So that's what I'm going to work on. Let's see. I actually have not visualized what the design would look like. So I'm going to let cursor, or the AI, decide whatever the design is going to be. Because this is, for me right now, I'm not really putting a lot of effort into the UX and the UI. I just want it to be usable. That's really what I want to care. I want to make my process faster. That's the whole point. I'm trying to be efficient. So we're going to go to cursor. I do want to create a new branch. So I'm going to tell it what to do. So create a new branch from the current branch. So it has all the latest changes, and we're going to implement new features. So let's go ahead and first create the branch and check out the branch. So I wanted to do that first. I'm using Whisper Flow. It's working out really well. All right. So there you go. Run. It's as simple as that. I could have just done the whole thing in one. Okay. I'm just going to just check. All right. Go ahead and check. What I want to implement is a filtering on the deployment levels. Right now, when you check the front end, there is filtering for item level. You can filter item by status and by type and things like that. But under each item, as you know, there are deployments. So I want to filter by deployments too. I want to get a list of deployments in certain status, deployment to certain platforms, several ways to filter. So analyze it, come up with ideas on how to filter, come up with a design, and implement the design to filter by item as well as by deployments. Right? So I typed all that, hit enter. You know, on YouTube, I've seen people speak, and whatever they're speaking shows up as they're speaking it. For me, after I install it, what I've noticed is I have to finish speaking and it will just show up. Maybe I'll just let go of the button often, like speak something, let go, will show up, speak something, let go. Maybe that's better. But this is using AI, so it's super accurate. So far, I had no issues with it. It's very, very accurate, so I'm not really worried about it. So right now, it's doing the research, and we're going to wait, and we're just going to let it do its thing, right? So here, once it's done, we're going to check this out. All right, so let's check on this, and it looks like it is done. Let me see now. Let me test the backend to make sure the new endpoints are working. Let me check if there are any syntax errors. So it's running the script to just see if there are any syntax errors. That's good. After that, hopefully it starts to make API calls. There is a syntax error. Okay, there is an error. I see the issue. The file seems to be corrupted. Let me check the beginning of the file to see what happened. That is weird. Do I have it open here? I don't know if this one is v1 endpoints. This is, yeah, this file here. I don't see any red underlines. Let's see. Normally you would see like red stuff if there is like big issues. I see the issue, blah, blah. So it's working. We're going to wait for it to finish figuring it out. All right, this happened. It's saying my conversation is too long. Now, this is very weird because it's not that long compared to some of the conversations that I've had. In fact, I started this conversation for this recording, right? I recorded like 3 videos. I fixed like 4 bugs or something like that. Well, 3 bugs total in this one. So I'm quite surprised because it is not that long. So anyways, I'm going to click on start new thread. The good thing is the last time this happened, it remembered where to continue, where to do, what to do. So in this case, I'm just going to say continue and see what happens. All right, so I'll help you continue with the front end title expand. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. We were working on the filtering logic. Need to remind it, apparently. No, we were working on the filtering logic on the deployment level. You implemented a lot of changes and you were just testing them. Wow, that's surprising. I was quite surprised with that. Did not know where we were. It went to the previous chat, right? When I first started a new chat where I wanted to implement the expansion of the fields. So the app is already running, so you can just try API calls or curl call to the front end. And the front end is running on 5001. Both the app, the front end and the back end are already running. There you go. All right, now we're talking. So it's making an API call and let's see, I can see it added some filtering in the API level. All right, so we're gonna do run, it's testing a few things. Probably will also ask it to add some tests. I have PyTest, like a little framework for all the backend. Since we implemented the changes to the API, I need to add tests. Even in the previous video, we implemented changes in the API when it's talking about the number of deployments per item. We did not write tests for that. I think I like the backend. It's easy to write tests because you don't need a browser or anything. Now with Playwright, it's actually easier for the front end too, but it's a little bit more than just, just writing backend tests, API tests. And that's why I'm relying on it, just creating a bunch of tests, make sure they run, and that way I feel confident without having to review every single aspect of the code. All right, just going to keep running, just testing. It's making an API call, checking the response, making an API call, checking the response. And now it's calling the front end. Actually doing a curl call to get the front end and it's parsing the HTML, right? You and I, we can't just look at an HTML and know exactly what's going on. I mean, if we spend like 24 hours, we could, but the AI doesn't need a browser. It looks at the HTML and it can tell what is there. It's doing a lot. So I think it's trying different kind of filters based on, I can see the last one was based on time and timestamps. All right, let's see. Just going to keep testing, I actually like the fact that it is doing its testing. See more, now it's doing tests to the backend. What happens is it checks the front end. If something is wrong, it knows like, the backend must have returned something else. So it's going to check the backend. That's what happened. We saw it right now, it's doing the front end. So the quickest way to find out is the backend is running on port 8000 and the front end is running on port 5001. That's how I quickly know if it's making a backend or not. Then of course the rest of the URL. But as soon as I see the port number, right away I know what's happening. All right. This is a situation where I have like auto run is nice because it's not going to ask me should I run it or not. I wish we can turn on auto run just for a little bit. Allow curl, JQ, curl and JQ. Okay. You know what? I'm going to allow those, even though I'm not sure exactly what JQ is. But curl is just making an API call. Now I don't have to approve it. It's just going to keep making calls and checking. Surprisingly, okay, it's curl and grep. That's actually okay. Grep and head. Grep just means search, and head just means search the top of whatever the response is. Tail would be the bottom of whatever the response is. I'm going to run. It opened it in my browser for some reason. Run. I don't know why. Just in my browser, it didn't open of that URL, so it actually opened. I see it on my other monitor. So let's see, I see a whole new row. So I can show you real quick actually. So if I refresh this, there is a brand new row here for deployment filters and the item filter. So it did not touch the item filters, maybe it did, but at least the UI part, it looks the same. But then there's a deployment here. I'm gonna let it do its thing because I don't know what kind of bugs there are. It's running a lot of tests. All right, it seems like it is done and we're gonna test it out. We're gonna refresh this. So for platforms, let's say I wanna see all these are supported, right? YT long, YouTube short, TikTok short. Now I gotta clean up for sure. What the heck is TikTok, right? TikTok and TikTok short should be the same thing. IG shouldn't be there. It's either IG Reel or IG Story, IGTV, one of those two. Facebook, for Facebook, maybe there should be more. So it seems like I do need to look into that. I haven't used those yet. I only used YT long, YT short, and TikTok. So I need to look into that. Why are there so many kinds? So let's just say I want YT short. All of a sudden, we got items that has YT shorts published. Okay, so it is working. I'm going to play with this. I'm going to see how exactly to use it. YT shorts. Let's see schedule. There should only be one row. There you go. Okay, there is one row, and this one was a mistake, right? This one is a long video, shouldn't go to TikTok, so I can definitely delete this. But I do want to do a little bit of research. Why do I have it wrong? Did I do the deployment in the wrong item? That's probably what's happening. Let's see. So 2 items showed up here. So let's see what happened here. It just, once I expand it, I cannot collapse it. Oh, we see that? That's a bug. That's the kind of bug that a human would have to catch. If you have an automation, right? I'm an SDET, I'm a software engineer in test. I write tests. So Selenium will be a little tricky here. So normally what would you do in Selenium is you click on something and you verify if the element is displayed. So what I would have wrote is most likely, I would say click this, then I'll get the locator for this element here, for this box here. And I would say verify this box is displayed. And Selenium is going to say, yeah, the box is displayed. It's not going to know that the box is displayed on top and it looks weird, right? It's not going to know that. So that kind of automation, that's the problem. It's not going to catch it. Now a visual test like ApplyTools and AI visual testing, it will catch that. Visually, it doesn't look right. So when we look at this right now, visually it does not look right. So I'm going to go to cursor and I'm going to tell it to fix it. Usually that's a risk. Now the filtering is working. All right, at least we tried those 2. The dates we did not try, the templates we did not try yet. The filtering is working. So just when we tell it to fix this, it might break the other stuff that's already working. So, but that's a risk I'm willing to take right now. So we're going to go to cursor and we're going to be like, the filtering seems to be working fine. I did not test everything, but the deployments are showing up on top, not under the item. Right? The deployments are showing up all the way on top of the page or on top of the table, not right under the item when it's expanded. Before it was working just fine. The deployments were showing up right below the item. Investigate and fix. Let's see. Please tell me it caught all that. I need to be paying attention to the voice thing if it caught it. It did not. All right, I'm going to try that again. All right, so it looks like the filtering is working, but when I click on the little expand on the item, the deployments are showing up on top of the table, not under the item itself. So that seems like a bug. So if I expand 2 items, both deployments for both items will stack on top of the table and right underneath the corresponding item. That's a new bug that was working just fine. So investigate that and fix it. If you're not clear what I'm talking about, please ask and I'll explain it further. There you go. So sometimes you gotta do that. This whisper thing, I'm not sure why it didn't work. Maybe I clicked it too much or something. I don't know. I have a hot button. I just click on one of the buttons on the keyboard, one of the keys, and I just talk. So let's see if it's going to fix it. Hopefully the way I explained it is good enough for the AI to understand what's going on. All right. Usually it will tell you like, oh, I got this. I understand what you mean. Yeah, it says that right there. We don't know if it actually did understand it or not. It's always going to say I got it. So let's see. Open that. All right. I don't know why it wants to open it, but go ahead and open it. Making the API is working. I don't know what the point of opening it is, to make sure it's there or something. Then after it opens it, it makes a curl call to the same page with particular filters. All right, so let's see. It looks like it is fixed according to it. So let's say we're going to do TikTok shorts or YT shorts. Do YT shorts. And then we're going to do scheduled. All right, then click on that. It shows up down here. Click on this, it shows up down here. Perfect. It is fixed. Looks like it is fixed. It is awesome. I don't know what this 0 mean right here. Existing deployment 0. So I'm going to look into that. That seems like a bug. We can fix it. Let's see how long this video is. I think we can cut this off. This is a small bug. We don't even need that. I feel like this is supposed to be like that, the number of deployments, but it is not working. I'm just going to tell it to remove it or not bother with it. Another thing is if I make something, if I make a fix, so why is this got deleted here? That's interesting. Did I delete something? This looks weird. But let's say I'm going to edit, right? Okay, the edit is not working now. Okay, very interesting. Let's see here. This is going to generate a description. This is going to generate a description. This is the whole thing, right? I create on generate post. It will add in, it will fill in like my promotional links, my hashtags, in addition to the description, and build it automatically. And then in the future, if I want to create, like if I want to start using different kinds of links that I want to promote in my YouTube, then all I have to do is change the template and automatically everything gets updated. So here the edit is working, but the edit for the job for the item is not working. So if I refresh, the filtering is gone, and let's see if the edit works now. Edit works here. So that is a bug that I'm going to fix. One, the edit is not working once I apply a filter, and two, that little zero thing that showed up. The thing I was going to show you is once you edit and it will refresh the page and the filtering is gone, right? I want the filtering to stick. So that's another bug for another time. I can still use it. It's not blocker, right? There's a bug that's a severity. I can't even say that word. How severe the bug is. It's not that severe, right? There is two things, severity and priority. It's not that severe. It's not that priority. So I'm going to fix it another time. That's kind of how you judge bugs. Do I need to drop everything and fix it right now, or can this wait? It all depends on what other priorities you have. All right. So in this case, I'm going to hold on for that, and I'll probably create another content where I record it. Every time I make changes to this app, I want to make a video with it. Just record it and just upload it. That's really my idea. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully you are enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, let me know by hitting that thumbs up. If you're learning, if you like, being able to follow along, if you want to change something the way I talk about, if you want to see more of a particular thing, put it in the comments. Of course, I'd love to see comments. If you want to learn software testing, QA automation, software engineering in test, check out all the links in the description. You can work with me one-on-one, or you can be part of my membership and take all my self-paced courses. So check that out. And I really want to hear about it. So I'm just making these videos, documenting this journey, and I want to know if you like it or not. So please comment and a couple of thumbs up and let YouTube know that this is good stuff. I'll see you on the next one.